And seeing that we can't come to an agreement or negotiation, it seems legal.
Like, I mean, that's the only option. Like, we're not asking for an enormous amount of money or something outrageous.
So I just want, like, on your guys' end, transparently, what do you guys feel like is the best course of action given the information I mentioned? So we have a seller currently who shot us an email saying they want to renegotiate or back out of their property because they don't feel like the number that we locked up the property at is not fair based on their number. So they literally shot us an entire email saying, hey, we don't like the fact that you guys are going to make more on the property than what you guys are paying us, which is absolutely not the case. The issue is they're saying like, hey, we spoke with the legal team and other professionals, yada, 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 and they feel like ARV's this high, estimated repairs is this low, selling cost, purchase price, our net profit. So they try to predict our net profit and our return on investment, which is absolutely far off. The challenge about this is that closing is in 10 days, and we are trying to make sure that they actually sign their end from our attorneys. So what you're going to see me do is you are going to see me call them up and try and tell them that, like, hey, we already went up $15,000 to make this happen. We are sorry that you feel that way, specifically when it comes to how much we're going to make, because unfortunately this number is not correct whatsoever. And I want to share what some of the numbers do look like. And then from there, we're going to have to almost push the legal route of like, hey, if you guys know, we're going to put a lien and we're going to file a memo. And if you try and go speak to another wholesaler, another investor, they're going to see, or their attorneys are going to see that we filed a lien and memo against it. And as a result, they're going to have to deal with us to try and get that lien removed, which at the end of the day will even cost you guys more on the profit. Transparently, I'm not the biggest fan of these calls because we're in the final stretch and we want to get this deal to the closing table, but unfortunately that's not the case. So we already spoke a little bit earlier today. Told them I was gonna go back, talk to the team about it, but have to play hardball sometimes. This is real estate, so we're gonna block out the numbers that way you guys can see it.
Hello.
Hey, Danielle, this is Ben from Divestic.
Yes, how are you?
I'm doing okay, transparently. Is the Demetrius with you?
I can get him on the line. He's actually, we initially asked to speak with Jaden this morning, but he said 2 would be better. Like, I was off today, he was not, so I can get him on the phone though.
Absolutely, that'd be great.
Give me just a minute.
These are never fun, but you gotta do what you gotta do.
Okay, he's on the line.
Awesome. Demetrius, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Awesome. So again, I want to make sure, like, I want you guys to understand, like, my goal here is not to sugarcoat you guys, but I want to give you guys just the honest and brutal truth from our team, right? So our legal team, our underwriters, etc. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. But the challenge is, the biggest hurdle that we are trying to overcome is a few things. Number one is the fire damage property. The city in Augusta, Georgia, I can actually read it to you guys if you want, but in summary, any property that is fire damage in the city of Georgia, a building permit is required for fire damage properties, whether commercial or residential, as it involves repairs and reconstruction. The Augusta-Richmond County Codes ordinance also emphasizes that any construction, alteration, or maintenance of a building contrary to fire prevention codes is a violation, right? So that is the hurdle number one. Hurdle number two is the numbers that your professionals or whoever you guys, your legal team, you guys spoke with is very far off, right? If you guys are truly curious of how much we would hopefully make on this property, all said and done, I'm more than happy to disclose that with you because I got permission from our legal team. Because again, I want to be transparent for not only you guys but both parties in general. Does that make sense? And then the third.
We understand the permits and all of that. Like, as far as like having the bathroom remodeled.
Yeah.
But like you don't need permits to clean soot off of a wall
No.
or off of cabinets. Nothing is damaged in the house aside from the bathroom. Everything else is smoke damage. We literally could have just hired somebody to come in and clean soot off the walls.
You're absolutely correct. And you're absolutely correct. The challenge then becomes when we try to, for example, rent it out or whatever the team plans to do with it, we have to get an inspection on the property, which as a result would force them to actually, check up, make sure, do an inspection, things of that sort, to make sure that it actually lives up to code. So we can't, as much as I don't want to go out and get permits and things like that, it's like we're also not trying to get in trouble with the city, and I hope you guys would understand that. If we wanted to fly behind the radar and not tell anybody, can you do that? Absolutely. Is it the legal thing to do? And if the city finds out nothing's going to happen, unfortunately, that's not going to be the case. That's where we are struggling with, right? The second thing is I spoke with the underwriting team and I realized, because I got the chance to check up the notes because I didn't hear it earlier, but the team told me that we actually try to raise the this is our second time renegotiating, but at first we offered you guys $30,000, and for some reason, unfortunately, that's where we would have made ideally what we wanted for both parties, obviously, but nowhere close, not even half of what you said of like $55,000, which is just not realistic. We could not, in good faith, do that to a seller, whether that's you or even if the property in, for example, Athens is worth more, as an example, right? So whenever we renegotiate, we gave you guys an extra $15,000 to make sure that the property is that we can actually make a deal and help you guys out here, because I know you guys mentioned you were under emotional stress, which again, that's exactly why I wanted to call you directly from my personal phone number. That way you guys have it throughout this entire process. And then so that's the second thing. And the third thing is that really it's just the number. So I guess fire damage, code violation, they're not gonna let us do what we can't just fly behind the radar is the point I'm trying to make. Second thing is the numbers are.
No, we're not asking you to, but it's not like if the resale value is $144,000, it's not going to take you $100,000 to get permits and redo a house and profit. Like you're standing to make way more than we would off of our house.
You're correct. Yes, ma'am. And I completely understand. The challenge is, as investors, we can't sell the property at 144. Like transparently, that is a little bit higher than the actual ARV based off of comps and comparables that we ran, right? So that's why I was concerned. I'm like, wait, these numbers.
So what are you saying it's gonna sell for? Like, what are you saying?
Because
we know the value.
Correct.
In the area and yeah.
Correct. Yes, ma'am. And absolutely. But the thing as investors is our goal is to acquire properties at fair market value. So what is the property worth today, assuming you guys don't have to pay any or pay anything to like fix it, to repair it, go get permits, deal with contractors, like all that. No commissions or listing fees, because obviously we don't take any commissions on the product because we're not agents, right? I'm not an agent, nor is Jaden and Thomas. They're not agents as well, right? And then just headaches, right? Because here's what I want to make extremely clear to you guys. I've been doing this business for almost a decade now. I'm coming up to a decade in July. And I've spoke with many wholesalers across the country, right? Yeah. The challenge is, let's say somebody was to come to you and offer you guys even $70,000, right? It's more than what you want. You guys wanted 65 as an example. If somebody came and offered you $70,000, being fully transparent with you, they are a beginner. And I'll tell you why, right? If somebody was to offer you guys that high, they, number one, did not run their numbers properly, or number two, are just assuming the property is clean. They probably didn't ask you for pictures or something. And as a result, what's gonna happen is that property is not actually going to close. And now you have to deal with more time, more headache. And what I've seen most people do is they will try and go through an agent, assuming that they will make more simply because of the list price. Here's what I mean. You can go to an agent and they'll say, hey, I'll list it for $100K, but now you're waiting 6 months to get 3 offers if you're lucky. None of them will actually pull through, right? Because the people buying it actually have to repair it. Like I don't want to go down this. Like I think you guys get the point, right? So
and I want to know what, because like based on the information I have, like the house could sell between like once it's repaired between 28 and 150. So like I'm not understanding like
yes,
like
ma'am.
I said, we understand what you're in the business for.
Yeah,
like,
yes, ma'am. But one thing we're not in the business for is screwing people over. Like I want to make that absolutely clear, because another thing is, if the property in a perfect world was able to sell for 140 or 150 or even 160, we would have told you that and given you guys more on the first negotiation.
No, because he started low at like $25,000, which is insane and which is really crazy.
Correct, but
we were under distress. What if we had agreed to that? Like that is basically like robbing us blind. And we had agreed to that.
And
so for somebody to start that low, that shows what your intentions are. Like I said, I understand it's business for you, but like, I mean, everything you're saying, I get it.
The biggest thing is, again, I'm not in this business. Screw you guys. What I meant is that if we could have offered you more, we would have done that when we negotiated. Because looking at the numbers, looking at the report with our team,
how did it go from offering us $25,000 to $45,000?
We reran the numbers, right? Because we reran the numbers and we were like, okay, we can offer them a little bit more because obviously they need this help. They're going through a bit of a challenge in their life again. Because another thing is, I want you guys to understand, we're not trying to undervalue what you guys are going through, because a house is the most valuable asset in the American's life. Like I completely understand that. And this is why I want to make it clear to you guys, like, hey, at first they offered $25,000 and then we renegotiated and then we went up to $45,000. So that's an extra, what, $20,000?
Yeah,
but the point I'm trying to make.
Said no. My thing is, had we said yes, you guys would have taken it.
It would have sold for $25,000.
I understand what you're saying. Like, when we initially spoke with Jaden, it was a lot of back and forth, a lot of pressure. He's calling us every 15 minutes. We understand it's a tactic. We were under distress. Like I said, 45,000 is not it. So is there a better number that you can come with? We don't want to go back and forth about statistics, because in all honesty, like as we were going over the paperwork and having our attorney look at the paperwork, the earnest money wasn't deposited until the 18th, which was way after the due diligence period. So like we're trying to work with you guys in
yes,
good
ma'am.
faith, but like, I mean, you're not honoring the contract yourself.
Basically, where I was trying to go off of is we tried to give you guys we gave you guys an extra $20,000, right? And then whoever ran the numbers, again, I think, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but this challenge that we're running into right now is due to the fact that you guys feel like we're going to make even close to $50,000, which is, we're not even going to make near 10% of that amount, not even the property, just that amount. So I feel like that's the biggest thing. If
$1,000, like, why are you even in the deal? It makes no sense.
No.
It makes no sense. You wouldn't be trying to buy our house just to help us.
Absolutely, we would. Why wouldn't we? That's why people come to us on a daily basis, ma'am. We don't ever make that much money on somebody like that. Like I want to make that really clear.
So if you're not making money, like what?
We are making money. We're making a little bit, but nowhere near $50,000. Not even barely 10% of that.
Like what do you suggest is a fair number?
Yeah.
Because like I said, we know it's not going to take $50,000 to repair the house. So if you sell it for $120 and you give us $40, like you're still making a huge profit. Like you're saying you can disclose the numbers,
but there's repairs.
Based on what you're saying,
yes,
like,
ma'am.
We know what it looks like. Like
yes, ma'am. The repairs itself is going to cost upwards of $50,000 to $60,000. Like I just want to just share that with you guys, right? I wish it was $30,000. Trust me.
That's not $50,000.
It's that and the permits, right? I want to, like, again, I'm trying to give you guys all the information possible to just share our side of the story, because here's the biggest thing. Like I completely understand where you guys are coming from, and I will keep saying that over and over again. I'm simply just the messenger forwarding the message over to you, right? So the biggest, and obviously me doing this for almost 10 years now, the biggest thing that I'm seeing that's causing a sort of a conflict, I guess, between the both of us is you guys feel like we're going to make upwards of $50,000, which again is absolutely untrue. The ARV is not even close, and nor is the repair cost, right? So I feel like that's where we misalign on the property. At least that's what, again, the underwriters told me.
What are you what are you going by with the repair value after, the sale amount, like after the repair, because like how the numbers just drastically different. What's your source? Like, I don't understand that.
The biggest challenge, and as I keep mentioning to you guys, is the fire damage part. That's what's going to not screw us, but it's going to hurt us. It's going to extend the timeline because of the permits. Because permits take forever, and then we have to pay the holding costs and things, and upkeep of the property, pay the contractors, etc. That's what's screwing us over, right? So I'm trying to make this as clear as possible, because the challenge that I don't want to happen is our legal team file like a memo and a lien against the property, and then let's say you guys try and go file it elsewhere, and
then we would have to get our attorney to file a cease and desist, because, like I said, he's in breach of contract already. Like I have all of the text messages that he's been sending me. We've tried to, like, I've sent him several emails, texts. Like, we've done our part. Like,
can I ask, because you guys mentioned that you contacted the closing attorney to request a pause for a complete review with our attorney. I'm curious what your attorney had mentioned.
That they were going over the contract, and we were in between the time we were talking to Jaden, because we didn't want to have to go in this long, drawn out legal battle. But because we haven't been getting any communication, like we wanted to pause the closing because we wanted to renegotiate.
No,
because we didn't
and I completely understand that, but I want you guys to
like a few days after we had a house fire, he literally was blowing our phone up every day. He called us while we were out of town celebrating my son's birthday after we just had a house fire. Like I said, we were under a lot of stress and trying to get things in order. And after we had time to sit down and think about it, we had someone look at our agreement, and like it makes the buyer more than it does us. Like I said, I asked you what you thought was a fair number. I don't want to go back and forth with
legal terms
and what it's gonna cost to do this and do that, because like I said, we saw the property. Like,
yes, ma'am.
Before we sell it for $45,000, we can do the renovations ourselves and just move back to our home. Like, I'm asking you what you think is a fair offer, but $45,000 is not it.
Correct. Like, and I completely understand that, but again,
you talked to your team. Like, because that was initially what the conversation was about, and you were supposed to be getting back with us so that we could, throw us the number. But now we're back to doing the same thing we did on the first call.
Yes, ma'am. And obviously I'm the manager, so that's why I figured it would be best to reach out personally and give you guys my direct number. That way, if there are any challenges, you have the ability to reach me directly at my personal phone number that, like I said, my mom and my dad and my grandparents have access to, right? This is exactly why I wanted to call you directly from my number.
I feel like the only challenge is negotiating the number. Like,
when you guys refer to a fair number, correct me if I'm wrong, but fair for both parties, where you guys are taken care of and we as a company can keep our lights on. Is that, would you guys say that's fair?
Right, or maybe a compromise between the 45 and what we're asking for now.
And again, based off of what the underwriting team told me, that's going to be extremely hard because we already have the EMD in place. The all parties are already, taken care of, in the sense where we are ready to close, and the property is also 10 days out. So it's really hard to do anything between now and the closing date, right? Because as I've mentioned, because I want to give you guys the answer and the justification as to how the underwriting team and the legal team came to this number, because we agreed on the $45,000, right? And that was a $20,000 increase into your guys' pockets. And the best part is it doesn't even go up because there are no commissions. There are no fees.
If there's nothing you guys can do, like outside of what we're requesting, like we've been more than fair trying to renegotiate. Like I said, we'll just have to take the legal way. Like we're not trying to go sell to somebody else. Like we can just, like I said, we can have our attorney contact you guys.
Correct. I mean, and that's fine. The challenge is it's not. It's really again. I really want to be respectful and remain professional and transparent with you guys. It truly doesn't take away the fact that the property has been fire damaged. Like they can come to us. He can try.
Okay, if you're gonna take the legal route, like that shouldn't be of any of your concern anymore. Like, because we're going back and forth for no reason. Like I seem to come to an agreement.
I just want to make sure you guys have all the information necessary to make sure that everybody gets what they want. Like you guys get the cash in your guys' into your guys' account. So that way you guys can move on and live your lives, and then we can make sure you guys ideally would give us an easy time when it comes to actually making sure this property goes to closing. So again, Danielle, I'm trying to.
We've been the ones being ghosted and given the runaround like for the last week after we.
And I get that.
We reached out to Jaden, like so. Yeah.
And I get that, but the biggest thing is, this is exactly why I wanted to reach out to you guys directly and take care of you guys personally, right? This is why I'm here, like, and I completely get that, right? But again, it's fair market value is $45,000, right? An attorney, unfortunately, is not going to change that. My legal team's not going to change that. My underwriting team, they're not going to do anything. It's just we can't do anything about it. Nobody can really do anything about it, given the fact that it is fire damage. If it was something else, like you guys had to relocate, and the property was not as bad, close to
offers from other people. So like you're saying, you don't want your company or whoever your team, you don't want to give more than $45,000. That's understandable.
No, it's that we can't. It's that we can't. And it's that we can't. And I want to make that clear. It's not that we don't want to, it's that we can't.
Like you keep telling us there's nothing we can do about it.
There's nothing we can do about it.
Like we reached out in good faith. Okay, but if we can't come to an agreement and you're saying you're gonna file a memorandum or whatever.
No, we don't want to. I absolutely don't. I want to do everything possible to avoid that. We don't make money on that.
That's what it comes to. We just have to, like I said, have our attorney contact you guys because first of all, like I said, there's a breach in contract.
So
your guys, but we're still willing to work with you.
Yes,
we were pressured, which I have several calls and text messages from Jaden, repeatedly calling us 15 minutes apart, on several different days, pressuring us, you have to sign today. My team won't be in the office after this time, so we got to get it in today. Literally while I'm out laying in bed recovering from a dental surgery. We were pressured into signing that agreement.
And I completely understand that, which is why I want to share with you guys exactly what is happening.
If you understand that, either we can come to a number and meet in the middle.
Then that's exactly what I'm trying to. That's exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make sure you guys understand exactly how this process works. Because if I may sort of share our side, it's for example, if somebody's offering you guys $60,000 or even $70,000 or shoot, even $50,000, $55,000 if you want to go that far, it's going to be extremely hard given the fact that the property is fire damaged. Because here's the thing, they can offer you guys $55,000, they can offer you guys $80,000. The challenge is that once you guys, a few days before closing, they're going to see that because they're going to speak with their underwriters or whatever the case is, and then they're going to have to pull the plug on that. And now you guys wasted X amount of time, however long, dealing with them. So the biggest thing to me is making sure that this property actually closes and you guys are taken care of. That's the biggest thing. And it's really unfortunately, I can't change the fact. I'm only a person. I'm only a human, and I can't change the fact that the property is fire damaged, and we have to go through code. We have to tear down the entire property in order to even make it livable again. Does that make sense?
Why would you have to tear down the entire house and only one room is damaged? Like,
To live up to comply with code, to comply with Augusta, Georgia's city ordinance.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to, like I said, check with our attorney and have them.
Can I? Absolutely.
That doesn't. Yeah, like that makes no sense. Like it sounds like a flat out lie.
No, and absolutely, and you're more than free to, like, you are more than free. I can even send you guys the clause in the law, or whatever you want to call it, the code, to show you guys like that's actually the case, to save you guys money, because unfortunately lawyers are expensive and they.
Well, we have a lawyer on retainer, so it's fine.
Okay. There you go.
Coach us about what we need to be doing. We're asking, like I said, for a fair offer. If you guys don't want to, have a fair.
Correct. And again, I'm trying to be completely honest and transparent with you. The lawyer that you guys, for example, have on retainer, if he can come to us and we're going to tell him the exact same thing. It's like, hey man, like the property's fire damage and there's nothing we can do about it.
At this point, like if we can't come to an agreement, we just can have him file a cancellation letter with the closing attorney and you guys for the contract being breached. And like I said, we reached out in good faith several times and we haven't gotten a resolution.
So I just want, like, on your guys' end, transparently, what do you guys feel like is the best course of action given the information I mentioned?
And saying that we can't come to an agreement or a negotiation, it seems legal.
Like, I mean, that's the only option. Like, we're not asking for an enormous amount of money or something outrageous. So, like, I don't understand. I mean, it's nothing else.
No, and I completely understand that. And more specifically, I understand that you guys are not trying to ask for more an exorbitant amount of money. More so, you guys are trying to get what you guys feel is fair. But again, I'm trying to state the facts and tell you guys the absolute honest truth. It's just really, really difficult, regardless of whether you're speaking with me or any other investor that's somewhat seasoned. Like, it's going to be extremely difficult, near impossible, to go up any higher. And the reason why I say that, just so you guys fully understand, it's not that we don't want to go up, it's that we can't go up. Does that make sense? Because if we didn't want to go up, if we could go up, I am going to go back to the underwriters and tell them, like, hey, this is what we want to do in order to make this happen. They're happy, we're happy, they're going to give us, hopefully more people that we can help, etc. No, and I'm being honest and transparent with you. After I spoke with the underwriters and the legal team, we physically cannot give you guys more due to the fact that it is a fire damage property. So, like, let's just say, God worked his miracles that only he can do and made the property not fire damage. I will call you guys that hour and tell you, hey, we can give you guys more. But unfortunately, I can't change that fact. I just can't, right? So I'm telling you guys, it's not that we don't want to give you guys more, it's that we cannot. It is near impossible to go up any higher. Does that part make sense? Like, do you understand where I'm coming from?
Okay, well, Danielle,
I understand what you're saying, but like about the specifics, like with the repair and having to tear it down and all of that, I feel like that is exaggerated. So, like I said, we're going to consult with our attorney and
just keep in contact with you.
To make it easier for you guys, would you guys like me to send you guys where it says that?
It's okay.
No, what we want to do is consult with like our attorney and have them like get factual information regarding that, because like I said, I mean, of course you would say that because you're on the other side. So
no, ma'am, and I'm being completely honest and transparent.
We're gonna, like I said, consult with our attorney and have them get whatever information we need, and then we'll make an informed decision, and we'll be in contact with you. Like, I don't want to, like, it's nothing else to talk about. I'm sorry. Like, exhausted.
Right before I hop here, if you don't mind me asking, worst case scenario, what would happen if you go to your attorneys and they mention that, hey, they are absolutely correct due to the fact that there is a part of the property that is fire damaged. There has to be a full regut of the property in order to comply with city and code, city laws and the code. What would happen then?
They tell us that we'll make a decision at that point what we want to do like going forward, but they haven't told us that. So we're not gonna be hypothetically speaking. We're gonna wait until we speak with them and see what the factual information is.
Correct. We've dealt with this so many times. The fact that it's not common that people sell their house. Like you guys don't have. I'm assuming you don't have like 30 houses. You guys are just looking to offload. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it's more so the fact that like I want to do my absolute best to share with you guys like, hey, this is unfortunately what it looks like, because we don't like sitting around waiting for permits, and it's obviously going to cost us more money, more holding costs, more in repair to actually tear down the property and rebuild it again. So it's not like we want to do that either, because again, it costs more money, it costs more time. There's more things that can go wrong.
Structural damage would need to be torn down. But like I said, we're going to contact our attorney, and they can contact the Richmond County Code Enforcement and get that information, and they go over it. And once they relay that to us, then we'll figure out our next course of action.
Yeah,
but until then, like, we've already contacted the closing attorney to pause the closing until we get this sorted out, because like I said, we've been in communication way before today trying to get this resolved, and like nothing's come of it because the communication just stopped.
Would it offend you guys if I circled or if I checked in with you guys towards the end of this week?
No, that's fine.
What and I'm assuming this is the best number to reach you guys at. What day ideally would be best for me to check in?
We work during the week. We're literally at work all day. So
Gotcha.
We have to make time to talk to you guys.
So when do you guys feel like because I know you said you're at work right now, when do you guys think you would be able to speak to your attorneys to see, obviously get their...
Yeah, I can contact them tomorrow, but like we don't know how long it's going to take to get the
them to get back to you.
So like we want to contact them first and see what our next course of action is, like I said, because we just,
Can you give me 30 seconds right here? My grandmother's calling me, and she's in the hospital. Okay. I promise I'll be right back.
Okay.
So the reason I put him on hold and mute is because of the fact that the first time we put them on mute and hold is they told us some pretty not super valuable information. More so, they were just talking to each other like, hey, what do you think we should do? So ideally, I am hoping that happens again. Put them on hold for a few minutes. I'm going to get some water, and I will be right back. Hey, Danielle. Yeah. My grandmother's in the hospital, so I do apologize. Anyways, she's taken care of now. She just wanted to check in with me real quick. And again, see, you're busy. I have things going on, and I want to resolve things as quick.
Okay. We're not trying to have this long drawn out battle.
Yes, ma'am.
You're saying that due to code enforcement, like we could contact code enforcement ourselves, and they can tell us, what if the house has to be torn down to be rebuilt. Like you're saying that's the mandate. Like we need for this specific property, we need that in writing. You
exactly.
wouldn't have to tear down a home because of smoke damage. Like I understand the bathroom portion.
So the thing, the best way to put it, it's like a car that's been not in a crash. I don't want to say crash as an example, but I guess the point I'm trying to make is like a car with a salvage title, right? You can repair it. You can, you could change the bumper, change whatever, and make it look brand new. But unfortunately, whenever you look up the records, it still has a salvage title, right? So there's not much you could do about that, right? It sounds obvious that yes, trust me, ma'am, if we could just repair the
like, we
the
understand. Like, I'm not
the bathrooms.
I understand your stance, but we also know that, like, you're a buyer. Of course, you're gonna exaggerate so that for renegotiation purposes, we understand that. That's why we're doing our due diligence to have our attorney contact code enforcement so that we can get this in writing for our specific property. Because, like, I mean, I've not really looked it up thoroughly, but I do know that, like, for smoke damage, you only need maybe.
I'm more than happy.
Smoke damage, like, it doesn't require demolition, like,
yes,
the necessary
not demolition, more so a gut job. It's not a demolition. Demolition is even worse, but we're not going to dive into that. It's a full gut. Like, we have to tear down the walls, things like that, right? A demo is like we get a wrecking ball and we have some fun, right? Go Miley Cyrus on it or something. Anyways, back to the point. The biggest thing is, like, it's okay. Obviously, feel free to do that. But, like, I literally have the code, like, pulled up in front of me, and I can read it to you right now. Mentioning that.
I don't think that's necessary. Like, once we get them to have code enforcement come out and look themselves, and they write an official report saying that it needs to be, we might be open to revisiting that offer. But if they don't tell us that, like, we don't want to go through with the offer. So, like, that's what we plan on doing, contacting our attorney and having code enforcement.
Correct, but, like, every day, every hour that passes, the clock is ticking, basically, and I'm not.
Yeah, we know that. Like, that's why we're trying to get things done before the closing date. If they tell us what you're saying, then we might be open to revisiting the original offer. But the original offer of
$45,000.
Right, but if they say that it's not necessary, yeah, like, we don't want to go through with that.
Would it help if I looked for the law and just sent it over to you guys? That way you can, you know.
I mean, you can send it over, but we still want to have them come out
obviously
at the property to tell us exactly what's gonna be needed so that we can make a accurate assumption.
So correct me if I'm saying this wrong or I'm hearing you wrong, but you want to bring out an appraiser to appraise the property?
No, we want code enforcement. We're going to contact our attorney. What you're saying about the code for the city of Augusta, Georgia,
yes, ma'am.
Like, we're going to have them contact code enforcement so that they can come out and do an official inspection and tell us what codes need to be met and what repairs have to be done for the house to be up to code. Once we get that information, then we can make an accurate assumption, because we don't feel like the house has to be gutted and all of that. We don't feel like all of that's necessary. And if the city advises us that that's not what has to be done, like, pretty much what you're saying is not true. It's just to devalue the property.
No. And so first off, like I mentioned, I will never lie, or I only focus on stating the facts and telling the truth. And I can completely understand if you feel like I'm being dishonest. I just want to share that I'm not.
Well, I'm not necessarily saying that you're lying, but I understand your position. Like, so, I mean, I get it. But, like, we have to protect our interests too. That's why,
absolutely.
Like, I honestly, we're really not trying to make this hard.
No, ma'am. Absolutely. And I completely understand, like I mentioned, where you're coming from. But it's like, if you have a city assessor or a property appraiser, because code people, they write codes and they're a pleasure. Oh man, anyways. I mean, you're free to do that, as I mentioned.
Right.
But I'm just saying, I mean, again, like I said, you're free to do that.
Yeah, like, I just want to make sure that, like, the numbers are based on accurate facts. So, like, once we get that taken care of tomorrow, like, we can reach back out to you and, like, see where we're at with that. Like I said, if they give us that information, like, we're open to, like, discussing the original offer that we had, which was the $45,500. But if that's not the report we get from code enforcement, they're literally the people who write the codes. Like, if we don't get that information from them, then, like, that means that's not needed. So that saves you some money, right?
Ideally, it would save all of us money.
Right. So that's what, as of right now, that's what we're doing. We feel like I said, closing is a few days out. Like, we got at least another few days to try to get these resolved. Like, that's the route that we're gonna take.
Okay, so would it be okay if I checked back in with you maybe tomorrow?
Yeah, that's fine.
Tomorrow afternoon, in the evening, possibly? What time do you guys feel like would work best?
Like after 2 p.m., that's fine.
2 p.m. Okay, I'll reach back out then.
Okay. Well, thank you for taking time to talk to us today.
Danielle, if Demetrius, if he's still on the phone and can hear me, I'm doing my absolute best, and I hope you guys can sort of see that in making sure that this is resolved properly, and we both come to a conclusion where everybody wins and gets what they want. In my personal opinion, and it's okay if you guys feel differently, I feel like we did somewhat made a little progress. Like, I'm glad you guys were able to see that, like, the numbers were a bit off. Whoever gave you guys those numbers, and we're not profiting as anywhere close to as much as you guys would think. Another thing is, I hope I saw that I'm glad I made it transparent and able for you guys to see that the code the fire damage aspect, and us having to deal with the codes and the repairs and things like that is what is struggling for us. And again, I hope you guys see that I'm not like a fan of obviously tearing it down, because it costs more money and we have to deal with that, and there's more cost on our end. So to me, I mean, I wish you guys did see that we made a bit of progress.
But I mean, I do feel a little bit.
She is still on. Like, that's what's important.
Talking it over with you, but like I said, we just want to make sure, like.
Again, to me, it's like, at the end of the day, I want you guys to understand the way that I look at this. This is not an item business. This is not a product business. Like, you guys are humans. At least I think you are. Correct me. I guess that wasn't fun. Anyways, like, you guys are humans, and we're dealing with people. I'm a person, believe it or not, and I want you guys to understand that we, as in me and the entire team, it's not we do our best. We treat everybody, regardless of the property, or if we're gonna make anything. If we make $500, $1,000 off of it, just to help you or them get out of foreclosure, as an example, or be able to make their mortgage payments, that to me is like a win. Now, and the reason why I wanted to bring this up is due to the fact that I can completely understand and see how it is morally wrong for anybody, me or somebody else, to make more on the property as profit than what you're getting paid. Like, I want you to understand, like, that is morally and unethically not unethical, and I absolutely agree when you may have seen that to be the case, but unfortunately it isn't. But again, to me, regardless of what business you're in, who you're dealing with, good lawyers, bad lawyers, good plumbers, bad plumbers, electricians, teachers, whatever you want to look at, to me, at least, I don't care how anybody else looks at it, but for example, the people that I work with, the people that I do my absolute best to lead, is we are in a people business, and we want to do our absolute best to serve everybody.
I mean, like I said, I do feel a little bit better, but I mean, we just really wanted to get things resolved so like we can move forward, get back to a sense of normalcy. But
yes, ma'am, and I want nothing more than that, because I want you guys to understand, it's not like it makes me feel good knowing that you guys feel the way you do. Like again, I'm a human, believe it or not. So it makes me a little bit happier that you feel like progress has been made. And Demetrius, sir, I hope you sort of feel the same way. And if not, again, I completely get it. The thing for me then becomes like, again, talk to the lawyers. I'm not going to stop you. I can't stop you even if I wanted to. And since you said you have them on retainer, that's, you're not going to spend any more money. But it's just like, I hope you see that I'm being absolutely honest with where we're at and what we would have to do. And I'll tell you why. Is because I'm not interested in breaking the law, me personally. I don't want to test the government. I don't want to play games with the government, right? Because typically that would be a fight that I would lose. And obviously, from my experience and me personally, I'm not the biggest fan of losing, especially competing against the government, right? Like, that's just not something that interests me. I'm just gonna, if I have to eat into the margin in order for us to to be compliant, I guess that's better than going to jail, right? That's my opinion, right? If some other investor wants to skip that and go to jail, hey, more power to them, right? It's not my issue. They're kids, and anyways, never mind. So that's why I'm trying to be completely open and give you guys the clarity you guys need in order to make a decision where everybody wins, right? But and even worse comes to worse, we've been doing this for, like I said, almost a decade now. And if, again, please don't take this the wrong way, because I am not trying to insult anybody's intelligence, you guys or your lawyers or the real estate professionals you guys had run the numbers. But let's just say that let's say he was, he had a little too much fun last night, as an example. And he said, oh no, the law says this and that, right? And didn't do his research properly. That, to us, doesn't change the fact that we will still have to re-gut the property. Like, it's a part of the law. We've done this multiple times, hundreds of times to be exact.
I understand that, but I do know that the codes and things are different in different cities and states. That's why we're letting the code enforcement.
We're based here in in Atlanta.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Like you're not.
I'm in Augusta. That's not far. It's maybe like 2 hours away.
Believe it or not, and again, Jaden's mother lives really close to where you are. To the property specifically.
Okay.
Yeah. So, so obviously we're very familiar with the area. We know our way around. We know the laws. That is.
But we you're telling us this, but we haven't gotten anything in writing that shows that you got that from code enforcement. So
I can again. I'm more than happy to send it to you, and obviously,
okay.
And obviously.
Like, we're gonna just contact them and like I said, have our lawyer contact them, and then once we get that official documentation saying that that's what needs to be done, then we can revisit the original offer. Like, we just want to make sure that that's what needs to be done. Yes,
ma'am, absolutely, and I'll do my best to absolutely reach you tomorrow towards the afternoon, and hopefully we can come to something beforehand. And the biggest thing for me is just making sure that you guys don't feel taken advantage of whatsoever, and you understand that where we are at in order for us to come to a conclusion.
Okay. Well, as I said, we're going to contact our attorney in the morning and let them deal with code enforcement. And once we get a timeline, or if they can get somebody to come out as soon as possible, we can follow up.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. So I'll probably do my best to reach out to you tomorrow in the afternoon, and we can go from there.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay. You have a good rest of your evening for the both of you guys.
You too.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Fuck. Oh my gosh. That was a very long call. As a bit of a recap, we're going to follow up with them tomorrow, so we have a plan of action. My goodness, I need some water. This is fucking, that was crazy. But basically, what had happened was I feel like I made progress on that call due to the fact that Daniela was pretty not so happy about what I mentioned of, hey, we have to stay firm on our price. But being open, being transparent, hearing her out for the most part. I know in the beginning I was interrupting a lot, and something I could have done better on that call, as an example, is I should have let her speak a little bit more. And something that I'm trying to get better at is making sure that they fully speak, and then I jump in because I need to take notes. And if I don't say it, I will forget it. Sure, that happens often. But yeah, so that's one thing. We're gonna call them tomorrow. I'm very confident we can pull this through, because we know the laws, we know where everything stands and how we can get this. I think in this video, I will try to make it a multi-part series where basically if this deal closes, you'll see me again on the camera. But if it doesn't, you'll see exactly why, what I could have done differently. Either way, you guys just see the raw reality of being a real seller call. So that's where we're at with that. It's always fun seeing this because this is what makes real estate fun. My voice is fried now, and that's fine. But Jaden, if you're watching this, we're gonna pull through, and sometimes people just need to be heard and addressed. We always want to be on their side because obviously that's how we win. This is a people business, and so that's all I got for this one, and hopefully we will end this video with good news. Hey, what's going on, guys? So I hope you enjoyed that seller call recording. The reason why I created that video or documented that video is to share that not every single real estate deal goes exactly as planned, right? Like in this case, we were 10 days a little like 7 to 10 days right before closing, and the seller wants to come back, renegotiate. So pretty much what I had to do is I just kept on repeating over and over and trying to state the value of what it looks like to work with us, and how we don't want to go through the legal route of filing memos and liens and all that stuff, and we just want things to be peaceful, right? And the final thing I want to add is that in order to show you that we actually closed on this deal, I'm going to share with you the HUD, the Housing and Urban Development Statement here shortly. But I want to mention that in addition to showing you that we got the contract, which is what a lot of gurus do, where they show you like, hey, I closed the seller, got it under contract, but how many of those deals actually go to the closing table? Because to me, that's the most important part. And this is proof that the deal actually closed. So, so let's do that. So I'm going to take you off the tripod right here. Oh, shit. So as you can see right here, let me see if it zooms in. Right here, assignment fee to divested ventures, $19,000, right? So $19,000 was how much we made on this deal. So it would have been a bit more if we didn't renegotiate the first time. We were leaning more towards I think it was like a $35,000 deal, but unfortunately we had to renegotiate a bit. But overall, I just like doing sales call recordings because it shows truly what conversations looks like and sets the right expectation with you, the audience, what it looks like to talk to a seller, renegotiate a deal, things like that. And if you guys like this, please drop me a like, drop a comment of what you think I could have done better, right? Because at the end of the day, I definitely think I have room for improvement. And if you have any, just drop them. Let me know what I could have done better. At the end of the day, the deal closed, so I'm pretty happy. The client's obviously pretty happy as well. And I think I'll definitely be doing more of these because they're actually pretty fun. So with that said, again, my name is Benjamin, CEO and founder here at Bolt Deals. I run a marketing agency. I'm not wholesaling. Not yet, at least. But yeah, so if you guys enjoyed that, please don't forget to like, comment, as well as subscribe. And in the future, I'll probably be doing a reaction video where I'll watch the call recording and I'm going to react to it of what I think I could have done better, like a sales call review. So with that said, that's all I have for this one. And I will see you in the next video. Have a great rest of your day. And by the way, if you are an investor or a wholesaler closing at least 2 deals per month, and you want me to build the exact same marketing system into your business to get you higher quality leads that actually close, in addition to that, helping you with converting these leads into closed deals, There should be a link in the description. Schedule a call with either me or a member of my team. I'd love to walk you through exactly what it looks like. Again, my name is Ben. I will see you in the next video. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.